How about we join together? It's only lie, lie, lie. Just let the melody take you. Let's join together one more time with this nigun that will follow the Shalom Aleichem words. Together.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome to Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center. Whether you're in the room or on the Zoom or on the YouTube or the Facebook, wherever you're coming from, you are in the right place. And we're so grateful to have you here to celebrate Shabbat. And we're so grateful to Dash and his family for letting us celebrate your becoming Bar Mitzvah. Finally, right? It said you've had all this practice, plus we gave you an extra year. So we're really glad that you're here and so grateful to have reached this moment. We'll even say a blessing for it at the end of the service tomorrow for his blessing for reaching this moment. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. A couple things you should know about this community is that we are a safe community and we are a musical community. When it comes to safety, if you're on our email list, you got a whole new list of things to do this week when it comes to being at services. We're still wearing masks. We're still doing all sorts of things, and we really appreciate everybody who's followed the guidance and has come here. We appreciate folks keeping their mask over their nose and mouth through the entire service. You'll see that the cantor and I are going to kind of take turns wearing masks, although we each have our own masks. We're not going to take turns with the same mask. Now, we're going to have a wonderful service. And anybody who comes up to the Bema will be wearing masks, except for Dash and maybe a couple other folks. But we're going to do some great stuff together in the safest way possible for as long as we have to, but not a minute longer. Now, this is also a musical community. And you'll hear our wonderful friend over here, Matt, as a part of our davening team, will be helping us with the tunes. And the cantor and I will be singing, and Dash will be singing with us as well. But we're not here to sing instead of you. We're here to sing with you, and we really hope that you'll sing with us. If you know the tune, if you kind of know the tune, we might have some songs that have no words to them, like we just had, which means everybody knows the words. So please join in, whether you're in here or out there. You'll have the best possible experience of this service. So, last thing, I almost forgot. Because we are live streaming, every single moment of the service is being captured. This means that you are now liberated from your phones and cameras and other electronic devices through the entire service. So have that stuff away, keep it on quiet so that we can all stay in the moment and you can be fully present for this experience. We got you covered. So Now, we are going to begin welcoming in Shabbat with Kabbalat Shabbat. That's what Kabbalat Shabbat is receiving or welcoming Shabbat, starting with these angels that we see coming into this holy space and blessing us with Shabbat. The song about that is Shalom Aleichem. It's on page 13. I hope you'll join us.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashem, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu Nidei Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzeitkhem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yalla lai 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 lai, yalla lai 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 lai, yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai. And even as we increase the music in this space, we also like to increase the light in this space and in our homes and in our hearts by lighting and blessing the Shabbat candles. You'll see, because it got dark a little while ago, these Shabbat candles are already lit. However, they have not had the blessing said on their behalf, and so it's my honor to welcome Suzanne Paper to say the Shabbat candle blessing. And if you would, we talked about this a little bit yesterday, do those candlesticks have a special story to them?
Yes, they do.
All right.
But first of all, I want to tell you I am honored and blessed to be here for Dashiell's bar mitzvah, and to have my son Sean and my daughter Kim, and most of all my husband Larry, who his grandmother gave these to me 57 years ago when we got engaged. And now I'm going to say the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed art thou, Lord of God, King of the universe, who sanctified us by thy commandments and commanded us to light the Shabbos lights. Amen.
Amen. Kol hakavod. Thank you so much, Suzanne. Now that we have light in this space and is fully blessed, we're going to begin to ascend this ladder toward Shabbat. We have, for Kabbalat Shabbat, we have a series of psalms and songs that are like rungs on a ladder, steps on a staircase to ascend out of the mundane week into the holiness of Shabbat. Starting with the first psalm, which is L'chuna Ranana on page 15.
Let's join together.
L'chuna Ranana, L'chuna Ranana, L'chuna Ranana, L'Adonai. L'chuna Ranana, L'chuna Ranana, L'chuna Ranana, L'Adonai. Naria, Naria, Letzor Yishaynu, Nekat La'afara Betuna. Naria, Naria, Letzor Yishaynu, Bizmirot Naria Lo. L'chuna Ranana, L'chuna Ranana, L'chuna Ranana, L'Adonai. L'chuna Ranana, L'chuna Ranana, L'chuna Ranana, L'Adonai. כי אל גדול אדוני ומלך גדול על כל אלוהים, אשר בידו מחקרי ארץ ולד. כי הוא אלוהים אנחנו אומרים היום הימים. ארבעים שנה אקודרדור ואומר אמתועי לבבם והם לא ידעו דרכי אשר נשמעתי ואפי אם יבואון אל מנוחתי. 16.
יין עלי די, עלי די,
בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו ספרו הגויים כבודו בכל העמים נפלאותיו כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד נורא על כל אלוהים יין עלי From the Psalms to a medieval poem that the Kabbalist of Sfat wrote in the spirit of welcoming in Shabbat, looking upon Shabbat, embodying Shabbat, if you will, as a visiting queen or as a bride walking down the aisle toward them. And they said, "Come, my beloved," or in their words, "Lacha Dodi." And Lacha Dodi starts on page 22, page 22.
we'll take this piut from Shomro Al Kavetz and we'll concentrate in the last 4 verses of it. We'll join together at the top of the page. La 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 לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לא תבושי ולא תקרבי מה תשכחי ומה תהמי בכי יחסו אני הימי ונבנתה פירלתי לה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. Try that again. לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. והיו לי משיסה שעושייך ורחקו כל מבלייך יסיס עלייך אלוהייך כי משוש חתן על כלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואת אדוני תריצי על יד איש בן פרצי ונשמחה ונגילה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום עטרת מעלה גם בשמחה ובצולה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. One more time together. לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת
You may be seated. The final rung on our ladder as we ascend toward Shabbat is the psalm designated just for Shabbat. It's on page 23, and I'd like to call up Dash's father, Sean, to lead us in that. And on page 23, you'll notice there are some indentations and italicizations. There's sort of an A part and a B part. This is a responsive reading, and that means that Sean's going to lead us and say a passage, and then we answer him with the following passage. You'll get the hang of it, I promise. Let's go to the other. Amud. Here we go.
It is good to acclaim Adonai, to sing your praise, exalted God.
To affirm your love each morning and your faithfulness each night to the music of the lute and the melody of the harp.
Your works, Adonai, they make me glad. I sing with joy of your creation.
How vast your works, Adonai, your designs are beyond our grasp.
The thoughtless cannot comprehend. The foolish cannot fathom this.
The wicked may flourish, springing up like grass, but their doom is sealed, for you are supreme forever.
Your enemies, Adonai, your enemies shall perish. All the wicked shall crumble.
But me you have greatly exalted. I am anointed with fragrant oil. I have seen the downfall of my foes. I have heard the despair of my attackers.
The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. They shall grow tall like a cedar in Lebanon, planted in the house of Adonai. They will thrive in the courts of our God.
They shall bear fruit even in old age. They shall be ever fresh and fragrant, to proclaim Adonai is just, my rock in whom there is no flaw. Yesh koach. So we're going to conclude Kabbalat Shabbat with a musical version of that, Mirzmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat. It's also on page 23 on the facing page.
Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Tov להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. Together. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות, עלי עצור ועלי דבר, עלי היגיון וכינור. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, לזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידך, במעשה ידך הרנן. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, לזמר לשמך עליון. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך, ומה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך Sit down.
I couldn't tell if my mask was stuck in my glasses or my microphone. So, Dashiell, are you ready to give your Devar Torah tonight? Oh, you're not tonight. You're doing it tomorrow? I'm doing it tonight? Are you sure? Okay. Yeah, I'll make you a deal. I'll give it tonight. You give it tomorrow. Okay? All right. I'm glad we sorted this out. I haven't used that joke in about a year, so it's like it's brand new. I was sharing with one of the members of the family yesterday as we were rehearsing that that's most of my job is calling page numbers and telling jokes. And he said, I've heard your jokes. Your page numbers are really good. So I'm going to stick to that for the most part. And I want to share just a few thoughts on Parashat Bo. I'm going to say that the meat of this parsha, I think for most people, is in I'll say the part that gets more cinematic treatment. In Parshat Bo, we have the last 3 of the 10 plagues that happen before Yetziat Mitzrayim, before the people of Israel leave Egypt. And that in itself is not only, worth a holiday that we still do every year, Passover, but it's this great, I'm going to say this moment that has inspired not only Jews for the last, let's say, approximately 3,200 years since, but people around the world who have felt oppressed, people who have endured generations of slavery, of subjugation, look to this story as a ray of hope that if we could do it then, anybody can do it now. Of course, this is the most exciting part. And that's not the part I'm going to talk about. What I want to talk about is what comes either behind the scenes or after that. Because before we leave Egypt, we get the commandment of Passover. And before we even get the commandment of Passover, we get the commandment of Rosh Chodesh. And I'll get to that in a second. But what you should know is there's so many commandments that come out of this Torah portion that have nothing to do with plagues, have nothing to do with travel. They're just like thou shalt, thou shalt, thou shalt not, thou shalt. And before I get into that, I want to reflect on something that I hear a lot when people are talking about religion, whether it's our religion or another religion or organized religion in general. And anytime somebody says, I don't believe in organized religion, and I say, well, have I got one for you? Because we're anything but organized. That's not true. He's very well organized. But when people object to being involved in the kind of communal activity and the kind of, I'll say, repeated tasks and regular readings, they say, why do I have to go to a place to be holy? Right? Why do I have to follow commandments? Why do I have to believe this or donate to that? I think it's good enough that I just be a good person. Right? And what's wrong with that? And I'll say 0. I have nothing against good people. Believe me. I even like some of the bad ones. But when people say, I don't need to go to a place or to do a thing, I can just be a good person. I have to say, to me, it sounds a little bit like saying, why do I have to follow a diet? Why do I have to eat right? Why do I have to do push-ups or go jogging so much when I can just have great abs? You can't. And I'm not saying that you can't be a good person without getting involved in community. I'm saying I'm not saying you can't stumble upon the right path without guidance. I think that's innate in all of us. All of us have that potential to be good. But without practice, it's hard. Without practice, good luck. Because what religion, and I'll say especially ours, but not exclusively, is that it gives us reasons to get together with people. And that lets us practice being good people. You can't be kind alone. Well, you can be kind to yourself, but it's better when you're kind to other people, right? And one reflection on this week's Parsha and all of these commandments that we get, some are profound, some are picayune. The author of the Sefer HaHinukh says it is these actions that build character. Rabbi Shlomo Yitzhaki, known by his acronym as Rashi, who was a rabbi in what is now France in about the 11th century of the Common Era, he became famous for being a commentator on the Torah. He commented on all the Torah and most of the Talmud, one of the most prolific teachers of any generation, and is studied to this day. Chose for his first comment on the very first line of the Torah a reflection on Parshat Bo. Who knew you could read Genesis and learn about Parshat Bo, about Yetziat Mitzrayim? Because he was referring to another teacher of his, and he says, Rabbi Yitzhak Amar, Lo hayat tzarik lahathil et haTorah, elam hachodesh hazeh lechem, shehi mitzvah rishonah. And he says, the Torah, by right, should have started in Exodus chapter 12, verse 2. That's in this Parsha, when it says, this shall be the beginning of months for you. This shall be your first new moon celebration. Why? Why should the Torah start here? Because that's the first commandment that is given to us as a people Israel. You might say, I thought there were some other commandments. And the scholar Nehama Leibovitz points out that before this Parsha, before chapter 12, verse 2, there are only 3 commandments in the Torah, by Maimonides' counting and also the Sefer HaHinukh. There's only 3 commandments in the whole first book and a big, really important chunk of the second one, and that's pruervu, procreate, very popular, circumcision, less popular, still important, and don't eat the sinew of the thigh, very obscure. Because the wrestling match between Jacob and the angel, and that says because he wrenched his hip, now we don't eat that. And there are other important principles we can learn, but there are no thou shalts except for these 3 until we get to this part of the Torah, and from this until the end of Bo, there's 20 of them, starting with you're going to start marking new moons. And then it gets into Pesach. This is how you're going to celebrate Pesach. This is how you're going to remember this occasion. In the Sefer HaChinuch, this was a 13th century philosophical work where it went through all 613 commandments and tried to flesh out the reasons behind them, because he was a rationalist and he thought Jews need reasons to do stuff. In fact, that's why Rashi said the Torah didn't start here. Jews needed a backstory. We weren't going to do all of these things until we knew where we came from and who's asking, who commanded us, who created the world and made a special relationship with us. We needed that backstory. But now, he says, we certainly need the commandments. These are the things that you do to be a good person. The Sefer HaChinuch says, our first appearance in world history in the role of God's chosen people as a kingdom of priests and a holy nation took place at this season, Pesach. It is accordingly fitting that we should commemorate this event by performing such acts as would reenact within us that spiritual achievement, right? That we became that which fulfills our potential when we were set free and commanded. But he said it's not enough just to have this one, you could say, okay, we could have a party and that's it. We could have a celebration and that's it. But no, there's more. Do not think, he says, to find a flaw in my argument and say, why did God have to command us to do all this, all these mitzvot, in order to commemorate this miracle? Surely one celebratory act would have been enough. No, he says. Know that man is influenced by his actions, and his intellectual and emotional life is conditioned by the things that he does, good or bad. Even if he is thoroughly wicked and his mind is dominated by evil thoughts the whole day long, I don't know if he was talking about anybody in particular, even if he is thoroughly wicked and occupied by evil thoughts, if he bestirs himself and endeavor to be constantly occupied with the Torah and its commandments in doing the things, in getting together with the people. Though even if he doesn't have godly intent, he will inevitably veer toward good from the wrong motive. He will be led to the right one, and by the force of his actions, he will kill the evil inclination, since it is actions, he says, that shape character. We have the actions set in force, all of these picayune rules, but they gravitate towards some wonderful character-building categories. Tefillah, praying, are part of these commandments. Praying, while you don't know always what you're saying, or even what to say, it builds a grateful character. Tzedakah, helping the poor, creates a generous character, creates a just character. And tshuva, repentance, creates a humble character. If you want to be a good person in a world that challenges that at every step, it helps to practice good things. And Dash, I'll say to you tonight that all these good things are now yours to do. So get started. You've already begun your journey. When you need help, ask us. We're here for you, man. And when you see someone stumble, you be that help. And you lift them up. And when you do these things, I have complete faith that you will fulfill the potential that everyone here sees in you this evening. Shabbat shalom to you. Shabbat shalom to your family, and Shabbat shalom to everybody who's joined us this evening. We're going to continue with Mariv, some more good things to do, our evening prayer service, which begins with a call to blessing. That is the Baruch Hu. It's on page 28, and Dashel is going to lead us. It's our custom to rise and face the ark for the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Aed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Leolam.
Ma'avir yom u'mevi laila u'mavdil ben yom u'velayla Adonai tzavaot shemo el chai v'kayam tamidi lo chalenu leolam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai
Baruch Shemo.
Ma'ariv aravim.
Amen. You may be seated. We continue with Ahavat Olam on page 29.
Let's join together at the top of the page. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת עמך אהבת תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת אותנו לימדת על כן אדוני אלוהינו ושוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגה יומם ולילה נגה יומם ולילה ואהבתך תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל אוהב עמו ישראל
Page 30 into the other Amud where Dash will lead us in the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך וחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך נשינתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך ובביתך ובלבדך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך ושרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפו בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Continue with the next passage at your own pace, and we'll get back together in just a moment. We turn to page 31 as Dash leads us in Vayomer.
ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם ונתנו על ציצית על כנף תחיל תכלת וחיה לכם לציצית וריתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני, ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריכם, למען תזכרו, ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושי אל אלוהיהם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אשר הוצאתי אתם מארץ מצרים להיות להם אלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיהם אדוני אלוהיכם.
We continue on page 32, page 32. We bless God for the abundance of God's light and for the constancy of God's love. In this blessing, we speak of God's nature as a redeemer, as we learn in this very parsha, and even quotes the next parsha when we cross the sea and sing in gratitude, Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, who is like our God among all who are worshipped.
Let's join together.
Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osef eleh, nora tehilot osef eleh.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osef eleh, nora tehilot osef eleh. מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע היום לפני משה ומרים. זה לי אנו אמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדנו את יעקב וגאלנו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני
Baruch Shemo.
גאל ישראל.
Amen. I'd now like to call up Nika Kinzer, who's going to lead us in the Hashkivenu on page 33. Page 33. Okay.
Okay. Help us, Adonai, to lay down in peace and awaken us again, our sovereign, to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler. Guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace, now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praised are you, Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us, over all his people Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeshua. We continue on page 34. Page 34.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, top of the page.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביי 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 ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. go to Dashel, who will lead us in the Chatzi Kaddish on page 34.
יתגדל ויקדש שמי רבה
Amen.
ויעמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייך וביומך ובחיי כל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו
Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach Leolam Olam Leomaya Yitbarach.
יתברא וישתבח ויבער ויתרומם וינשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי קודשה
Ihu
לעילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה
Tushbechata v'nechemata Damiram Bilma.
וימרו
Amen. We rise and face the ark for the private Amidah for Shabbat evening. This is a moment for your personal prayer. The words on the page are here to hold you up. They are strong. And whatever prayer is in your heart is also appropriate this evening. Page 35b. When you're finished with your private prayer, you may be seated and we'll get back together in just a moment.
Hihu lerotzon imrei fi vegion libi lefanecha Adonai turi vegoali Amen. Oseh shalom, shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru Amen. We are
Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Ve'al kol Israel. Amen. We conclude the Amidah on page 48 with Dash leading us in Kaddish Shalem.
Yikadal v'yikada shemei rabba.
Amen.
Oh, yikadal v'yikada shemei rabba.
Amen.
Ve'amad yivrach yirteh ve'amlich malchuteh ve'chayachanu ve'amlechanu v'chayedeh kol beit Yisrael ba'galav izman kariv v'imeru
Amen.
Yehi shemei rabba mevora la'olam u'lam ve'yomaya Yitbarav v'yishtabach b'pa'ar v'chama v'naseh v'tadar v'taleh. What?
Keep going. You're doing great.
Start again from that paragraph.
Oh, Yitbarach v'yishtabach b'pa'ar v'chama v'naseh v'tadar v'taleh shmei kudesha
Brihu.
le'elam min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiram v'ama v'imeru.
Amen.
Tika bas lo tonu va'uton decho Yisrael kodam avuhon divishmai v'imeru.
Amen.
Yehi shlam rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imeru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imeru.
Amen. That's something they don't tell you about adulthood. There's so many Kaddishes. You're doing great. Don't worry about a thing. So we're going to begin to end our service with Elenu on page 51. But before we do, I'd like to call up Kim Paper and James Logel, who are going to be opening the ark for Elenu. Everyone else, join us on page 51, and please rise. He actually...
Aleinu leshabeach la'adon hakol latet gedula leotzer breshit shelo asaynu kiguye haratzon velo samanu kamishpechot ha'adama shelo sam kachenu kachem vegoralenu kecho amona v'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim Lifnei melech malkei hamlakim hakadosh baruch hu. V'nema v'chaya Adonai v'melech
HaKol haaretz Vayom hahu
vayom hahu ki Adonai yecha u'shemo echad.
And please remain standing while the ark is closed. The ark is closed. You may be seated. In times like this, when we gather in joy, it's sometimes when we are most acutely reminded of those who are no longer with us. Here at PJTC, in the coming week, we are marking the yahrzeit, and that is the anniversary of the passing of Abraham Aaron Nissenbaum, Alan Emmerich, Andrew Scher, Anna Cohen, Anna Weinberg, Anne Muriel Collin, Arthur Greenberg, Avery Douglas, Benjamin Nadel, Bess Meyer, Carol Kleins, Charles Hecht, David Skolnick, Eleanor Schultz, Elsa Lerner, Esther Greenberg, Ava Fox, Gertrude White, Hans Strobel, Harry Chalik, Hyman Balkin, Hyman Weiss, Irving Slater, Isidore Hochstein, Jack Tipple, Yairo Pinto, James Abner Keys, Janet Wingus, Jill Robin Brown, John Jick, John Schaefer, Joseph Lackey, Lena Hobbs Burgess, Madeline Mark, Mark Schaefer, Moses Hershkowitz, Nancy Lujan, Nathan Schenfeld, Peter Sattler, Philip Bunin, Robert Gortman, Rod Edwards, Shirley Auerbach, Slava Fleischiker, Sylvia Margolin, Terry Freeling, Thomas Haig, Tim Edward Lopez, and Walter Furman. If there's another name that you'd like to lift up in honor at this time, please say their name out loud wherever you are, or hold that name in your heart. And I invite anybody who is currently in mourning or observing a yahrzeit this evening to please rise and join us for the Mourner's Kaddish, Kaddish Yatom on page 52. Page 52. Let's pray together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Ba'alma divra kirute v'amlik malchute b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye d'chol beit Yisrael ba'gala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mivorach Leolam Leomaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shmei Tekudsha Brihu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechamata Damiran Be'alma V'imru. Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. If you're standing, you may be seated, except for you, Dashel, because we move from kavod, from honor, to great joy, as we have several gifts to be presented to you this evening. And we're going to have presentations by the USY, our youth group, by the Sisterhood, and by the Men's Club, starting with a presentation on behalf of the USY, who I believe is on Zoom. Who's presenting from the USY this evening? Is it Alexa? No, it does not. Oh, okay, you have the better copy. So that's Alexa Johnson. Hey, everybody. It's nice to see you, Alexa. It's okay.
Hi, Dash. For everyone who doesn't know me, I'm Alexa Johnson, the membership VP of our synagogue's chapter of USY. Today, I'm here to present you with your very own Bechol Echad, which should be on the podium. This is a songbook used at regional USY events. It is used for both Ruach and Sloach. Ruach is loud songs filled with energy, and Sloach is calm, reflective type songs. Dash, I have enjoyed getting to know you at Hebrew School and more these past few years. You are always a friend to everyone around you. One memory I have is at the USY movie night. A decent amount of our Hebrew School class came, and it was fun to reconnect. Looking forward to seeing you at future USY events. You did amazing tonight, and I know it will continue tomorrow. Mazel tov.
Thank you so much, Alexa.
Yeshkoach, Alexa. Now we go to Nancy Carlton, also on Zoom, who's going to be presenting a gift on behalf of the Sisterhood. There she is.
Dash, I am extremely honored to share this very special occasion with you, your family, and your friends. It is also my pleasure to present you with a gift on behalf of the Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center Sisterhood, which you have right there in your hand. Excellent. I trust this Kiddush cup will be a reminder of your accomplishments and your heritage. Enjoy this milestone and be proud. Mazel tov.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Kol hakavod, well done, Nancy. And last but not least, we go to Sean Surface, who is presenting on behalf of our men's club.
Sorry, it wasn't letting me unmute. So, Shabbat Shalom, Dash. I have to start off with an apology to the rabbi and cantor and the congregation. Usually, we're sitting in our life seats in the back. We weren't able to be there tonight because we're taking care of a friend who's kind of sick and can't be around a lot of people. But when we sing the song to welcome the bride of Shabbat, people turn around and they face the door. Well, because we're in the back, they kind of look for us to see when we're going to turn back around to face the bima again. So if there's anybody still facing the social hall, it's okay. Turn around and sit down. It's all right now. So, Dash, you've grown up, man. I remember you coming to my door when Millie, my daughter, was having her bas mitzvah, and you were about half the size of your dad, and now you're standing shoulder to shoulder. So, welcome to the world of manhood. Great name. I guess your dad or your parents named you after one of your dad's favorite authors. Dashiell Hammett, the author of The Maltese Falcon and The Thin Man. So you can go out and be a little crime solver. And apparently the 21st century wanted you too, because The Incredibles, there's Dash or whatever also. So yeah. I'm sure you've heard that 1,000 times and can't stand him. But the other great thing about you, Dash, and I just have to say from a personal point of view, is that you have a father whose name is Sean. So you can't really go wrong, man. You know, you can't go wrong. Very happy to be able to be here tonight and present you with your yad, and it should be there in front of you. As a member of the men's club, we're here to support the temple and in particular youth activities at the temple. Now, of course, the yad is important because we use it to move our way through the Torah without touching the Torah so that we don't smear the ink or tear a page. But I also like to think of the yad as a visual support. You know, you're here today and you're surrounded by your family and your friends, people that you really care about. When you're having rough times, you know, you can look at that yad because you're going to put it up on a shelf someplace. You're not going to be using it every day, you know, and maybe you look up at that shelf and it'll remind you of all the support that your family has for you. So to me, that yad is a lot more than just a pointer. It's a reminder of the love my family and my friends share with me. So with that, I'll give it back to you, Dash, and I just want to congratulate you greatly. As I've told other B'nai Mitzvahs, the only thing that Millie remembered about the yad presentation was some old man with a beard gave it to her. Well, I'm your old man with a beard, man. All right, congratulations, Mazel Tov.
Thank you so much, Sean. Thank you, Men's Club. This is awesome.
Yasher Koach. Thank you, Sean. And now we will conclude the service as we began it, and that is in joyful song. And it feels better and sounds better when you're standing up, so I'll ask you to please rise and join us in this final song, and then stick around for Kiddush, would you please?
Let's join together. Feel free to move from one side to the other one. Let the music carry you. Od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam shalom. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam.
Salam.
Shalom. One more time. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu.
aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, shalom, salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Stay tuned, stay here.
Good Shabbos, everybody. So we're going to go to Kiddush now. I'd like to invite up Dash's parents to join him up here.
There's a Kiddush cup there. You can take off your mask, yes. And this Kiddush cup for the two of you there. You can go get it.
Yep. This way. He gets the big cup. You guys can get small ones if you want to.
For those of you who have plastic wrapping around your Kiddush cup, feel free to take it out.
If you're on the Zoom, if you're at home someplace, grab a glass of whatever it is you celebrate with, and please join us.
And we're going to do what we practiced. So I'll start and then you continue. You might want to get close to the microphone. Not that microphone, the other microphone. Yeah.
It's okay. Come on up.
ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר יום השישי, ויחולו השמיים והארץ, וכל צבאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי, מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי, מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו, אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kadsho b'achava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron l'maseh v'reshit. Ki hu yom tehila lemigrae kodesh, zecher l'tziyat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'chata, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kadshecha, Yahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh hashabbat.
לחיים, לחיים, לחיים.
All righty, I'll make a little netilat yadayim on everybody's behalf before we make motzi. Washing cup, they're doing it over there. I'll do it over here too. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat yadayim.
Amen, amen, amen. And I'm going to ask the family to come close to the podium again and pick up the challah from below. You're going to have to take off your mask because if you want to have some challah, it's not going to work. Okay, if we can go back to the other podium. Okay, Doc. Go ahead. Uncover it. Blessing, please.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen.
Amen.
B'tei Avon, take a little
Shabbat.
bit. Shabbat shalom.
Good Shabbos, everybody. Thank you again for joining us at PJTC. We will see you, if you're here, we will see you all outside. And don't forget to grab some goodies for Oneg Shabbat on the way out. And thank you once again, Dash, to your whole family for sharing this amazing celebration with us. And thank all of you for joining us out there. I'm so glad to see everybody. I see that young man with the beard, Dr. Sean Surface. And Marilyn Jordan is here, and I see the Landows. Hi, Landows. Judy Ellis. I'll see you on Sunday as well, I know. Who else is here? I see Ruth and Edie. I see Joanna Rowley. Well, that's not Joanna, but that's somebody sitting in her chair. Nice to see you, Kate, and Rhonda's here. Everybody on YouTube, who I can't see your names, welcome. Good to see you, Karen and Clark. I know you're out there. The Culvers are here. My gosh, it's so crowded. I see Stacy Sulak and I see Ronnie Stoneberg and Nicole Manette and Jonah. Daphna, I see the whole Enzer Zangwell clan is here. Who else we got in the house here? Marilyn Fosberg and Emily. Hey, Emily.
My name got mentioned.
Michelle, nice to see you.
The cancer is going through all the people that logged on, and he said,
I see Marcy
thanks for being
Tungle.
here, Marlon Forsberg.
We can't hear very well. I think everybody's outside. Robert Bernstein's in the house. Veronica Anderson is here, yes.